Hi, Lisa Carter here with ERA Grizzard Real Estate. In the last 24 hours, I have been working with a buyer and I've helped her get a contract accepted on a property that she hopes to purchase to make it her home. And her story is a bit interesting and something that I would like to share with you. Just quickly, a rundown. I met with her by phone back the first week of March. And I did what I normally do, where I have a buyer interview or a consultation where I listen to a buyer, take notes, listen to what their needs are, what their desires are, what they're hoping to accomplish with their purchase. Are they looking just for an investment? Are they looking to make this their home? Of course, in budget. So right away we found a property that was appealing to her. It was a bank-owned property. It needed a ton of work. So she looked at it, was willing to make an offer. Unfortunately, it had multiple offers on it, so it wasn't a property that she was able to get a contract on. So I found a second property, and again, this one seemed to meet all of her criteria. It was within her budget. It too was a fixer-upper, but it was within her purchasing budget as well as her renovation budget. But during the negotiations, I could tell that she was a bit soured on this particular property. Now, she hadn't shared anything in particular with me, and we were still a little bit apart between what the buyer was offering and the seller wanted, and she decided to walk away from that property. After a couple of days, I reached out to her and told her we should talk again regarding, the property, regarding what direction she wanted to take from there. I had already done the research. I went back and looked at my notes from our original conversation. I knew what her budget was, but I had a feeling that there was something more than what she was sharing. So I actually identified two properties that might work for her. And when I gave her a call and we were looking at the properties, I actually suggested that she bump her budget downward a little bit. She was surprised and she was concerned about what she would find in that price range. But when I recommended the two properties that I'd already done the research on, she went through and visited those communities. We set up showings this past weekend, and sure enough, she fell in love with one of the properties, and that's the property she has a contract on now. She just shared with me that there were some things that had gone on. She wound up having to change her short-term living arrangements. There were a lot of things going through her mind. Most of all, she was making a cash purchase and using her life savings. And negotiating on the second house, while it met her financial requirements, she just really felt uneasy about it. So she was so thrilled that I recommended moving her budget downward, not upward. She was afraid to recommend that to me herself because she was afraid that I would walk away from her. So the point to all of this is, if you are a buyer, my advice to you is to really make sure that you select an agent to work with that can understand what your needs are, that will listen to everything that you say verbally and even non-verbally. If I can be a help to you, if you think you might be wanting to buy now, or at least stick your toe in the water a little bit and just see if the market is ready for you and for what you're able to do, please feel free to give me a call. I'm always here to listen.